Dr. Usha Shriram is the Wonder Woman. She specializes in diabetes and endocrinology. She's also an activist for women's health and rights. Her journey began at the Madras Medical College, where she excelled academically. She then ventured to United States, where she further studied internal medicine and endocrinology. She's also got the famous Otto Schwartz Teacher of the Year award, but her heroics do not end here. She started the Divas program, a diabetes awareness program for all women and children, and her latest mission is the Fit to Be Mom program, a checklist for all women planning pregnancy. Dr. Usha Shriram is not just a doctor, but a hero that the medical sector truly needs.
Thank you, Krishna, for those very kind words. Just a small change. I changed the name Fit to Be Mom to Be Ready, just to be more, accurate about getting ready for the pregnancy. And we are working on that project now.
Okay. So, as my first question to you, I realized that during my research for the interview, I was able to get a lot of information regarding your professional endeavors, but nothing about your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So, ma'am, could you please share something about your early education, parents, siblings?
Sure. So I think I had a very lovely childhood, very loved and safe, and I think an academically very wonderful childhood journey. So I have one brother. My parents are traditional parents who wanted to make sure that education was given to their children and that we excelled in that. They nurtured us, motivated us, and especially my mom was very particular that both my brother and I did well in school. Then I also went to the prestigious Rosary Matriculation School, which was run by the Christian Mission initially, and they continued to do that, and it was a wonderful school with what I thought then was very disciplined and strict school, but now I'm grateful for that because that discipline and that has stayed with me, and yeah.
I'm kind of jealous that you have a sibling, because in my family I don't have a sibling.
Yeah, I wish actually I had more siblings, especially sisters, which I don't have. So we all have something that we don't have.
Yeah. So who was the family member that you felt the closest to, and what made this deep bond?
That's a very difficult question to answer because I'm not sure if I felt particularly close to one or the other. I felt close to all of them. My dad was traveling a lot. So I think I looked forward to having him back, when he came back during the weekends or stayed a long time in town. It was very special. Okay, but I was close to both of them. My dad's parents would spend a few months with us, and they had 4 children, so they would split their time, and I really looked forward to the time that they would be visiting us. So I think I felt very close to all of them.
I do feel close to my grandmom as well.
Sure.
If my parents say no to something, I go and ask them, and she always says yes.
Yeah.
So as my next question, what family custom or activity did your family participate in throughout your upbringing? Were there any particular customs or rituals that were very close to your heart?
So I don't know about customs and rituals, but one thing that our family did was, like I said, my dad had 4 siblings, 3 brothers, including him. They were 4 brothers and a sister. All their children, all of us met every summer in one place. We usually met in our ancestral village called Kodavasal in the Tanjavur district, and so it was just so beautiful because the loving grandparents were there, uncles and aunts, and a lot of cousins, and we did a lot of fun things together. Simple stuff like running around in the backyard, Then they had cows. So one of my fondest memories were my grandfather had names for the cows, Lakshmi, Durga, Saraswati, they all had names. So affectionately, playing with calves and cows. And then we did fun things like going to movies and going on trips to Kumbakonam or Mayavaram. And it was just a beautiful, togetherness and family time. So I cherished that a lot, and I tell my children and now my grandchildren that kind of childhood maybe they're not having. Yeah.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the category of education.
Yeah.
What led to you becoming a doctor? Was there any significant events or anyone who influenced that?
I don't know if there was an event or a person who influenced me. What I know is probably from the age of 6 or 7, I knew I wanted to go to medical school, and my parents say that I used to say that even before. So maybe it was something even earlier that influenced me, but I don't remember. But what I do remember is that always talking about wanting to be a doctor and working towards that, because repeatedly I can hear especially my mother saying, unless you study well, it's not going to happen. You have to be the best in the class, and only then you can get into medical school, because it was highly competitive, and we didn't it's definitely my parents would not have paid any capitation fee or bribes or anything, so it had to be only on merit. So hard work was the only way.
Hard work is the only way. So I understand you did your MD in US.
Yes.
So how was the experience of attending school abroad?
First, just a MD in India is a degree, postgraduate degree after MBBS, right? So it's a really big degree.
Yeah.
In the US, MD is the basic degree. All doctors are called MDs. So what I did there was not my basic degree, but my post-graduation in medicine and in endocrinology. It was absolutely fantastic. So in India, in my basic MBBS, my undergraduate, right, I learned a lot about the science of medicine. We had fabulous teachers. I still refer to the time that I went to medical school as like the golden years. I think everybody says that. So really fantastic teachers. And then the clinical years were introduction to patients. So that was also very, very good. I have made lifelong bonds with friends. My medical college friends are still my very, very dear friends. But what I learned in the US was another dimension, which is communicating with patients. Okay, and I think that is a quality or an attribute that a physician absolutely must have. Here the challenge is simply you go in medical college, let's say an outpatient visit, there will be 600, 700, 800 patients one morning. So where would you have the time to sit down and talk to them? Whereas in the US, where obviously the numbers are a lot less, and so it's not just because of the numbers. I just think the value, the emphasis placed on connecting with the patient. So there's a lot of conversation, which I think is very important, and that's one of the things I constantly teach to the younger doctors.
So did you go to US alone? Was there someone who went with you?
My husband.
Okay.
So I got married, believe it or not, as a third-year medical student, just barely 19. And so I got married very young, and I moved to the US as soon as I finished my last year, not even my house urgency. I went there and did that as what they call as an externship. So there's externship, then there's internship, then residency, then fellowship. So those steps. Yeah.
So moving on to your career, winning the Auto Shots Teacher of the Year award is a remarkable achievement. What inspired you to focus on mentoring early in your career?
See, mentoring I think is very important. I mean, to have mentors, because I credit all my whatever I am today to the amazing mentors I've had. See, there are teachers and then there are mentors. Teachers teach you the subject. Mentors teach you and guide you and hold your hand, advise you, do so much more, and then you also emulate them. You want to become them. So I've had some amazing mentors, and so Otto Schwartz is a more than mentoring; it's for teaching, and so it's given by the residents and the fellows, the house staff. So it's even more special because they pick the teacher they want to award it to, and so it's just I guess very fortunate.
So you're saying that it's really important to have a mentor, whatever career path you're choosing.
Very important, the most important thing, because they can tell you which area to. I mean, they can see a good mentor can sense your strengths. So then they pick those strengths and then they hone your skills. They are able to put a polish on you. And then they also know your weakness, or they can detect your weakness and then say, don't go in that direction, or you're focusing too much on this. Literally are there for you. See, parents are give you one kind of support and advice, but unless parents are in the same field as you, and even then I'm not sure if we would go to our parents and ask for that kind of help. You need that mentor, very important.
So you were affiliated with numerous organizations supporting women's health. What led to you joining these organizations?
Women's health is from as an endocrinologist. When I came back to India, I was at the E.V. Kalyani Medical Center for many years, because my good friends Dr. Geeta and Dr. Arjun, they moved back and they were there, and it just seemed like the automatic thing that I would be doing. But then after going there and I started seeing a lot of women in their reproductive and post-reproductive years and their health challenges, and most importantly what has happened in the last, let's say, 20-30 years, the whole landscape has changed. Women are more in the workforce, women are so much more productive in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and also the health challenges have increased for women. So it just seemed absolutely something that I should focus on, and I just felt that I had a natural connection with them, with girls and women.
So it pulled you in naturally.
Naturally, see, it's not that I take care of a lot of men too, but women, we understand women's issues and are able to relate to it, are able to understand it better, empathize, because in medicine one of the qualities you need is to have empathy. So empathize with people. Yeah.
So moving on to the category of parenting, how do you juggle family life, clinical practice, research, mentoring, all of it together?
It's tough, it's not easy. You started my introduction as saying Wonder Woman. I have to tell you, all women are Wonder Women. I at least have all the support. There are women like my grandmother and my mother and their mothers, and who did not have much of this and did not have what we call agency. See, I have a lot of that, or at least my education and all that has brought me more agency, but many women did not have all of those things. So I'm just extremely fortunate to be able to do all that. And as a parent, parent parent and you're as a physician and all the other things that you talked about. So you just have to prioritize. Okay, when you're younger, it's definitely not easy. Okay, but as you get older, you can prioritize, choose what is important. And so somebody very, as they say, anonymous said that in life we are all the time juggling many balls, like what you just said. There is, and some balls are glass balls and some balls are rubber balls. So if you drop a glass ball,
Shatters.
it'll shatter. You can't put it back. So health, family, and relationships are all glass balls. Work and those kind of things are just rubber balls because it'll bounce back.
Yeah.
You will bounce back. So if we can keep that in mind and never drop those important things, if those other things will, money, work, all that will come back.
I understand. Could you describe the experience of being a parent, your biggest challenge and your greatest joy?
I'll start with greatest joy is really to see, I have two children, I have a son and a daughter, that they have become this extraordinary, socially aware human beings. And my son, teaches and works with refugees. He's a public law and political science professor. And my daughter is teaches global health systems training, strengthening in low resource settings. So both of them are, I am so overjoyed, concerned about the social injustices and very socially aware people. So that's my greatest joy, that they have become these people. My daughter has two daughters, and I am also extremely proud of the kind of parent she has become. So these are my joys. Challenges is, of course, when kids are growing up, you have to be here, you have to be there, there's a school event happening, there's also something else. So competing priorities can happen. Or if sometimes when health issue or something and you want to be there, but you have to be at work. So those kind of things that all mothers go through, but no other challenges.
Yeah. So moving on to the category of grandparenting.
Yeah.
I understand that you are a grandparent.
Yes.
How many grandchildren do you
I have two granddaughters who are now totally the love of my life. Yeah.
So how old are they?
They're 9 and 5.
Okay. So your grandchildren are now living in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they're drifting away from their Indian heritage?
So they live in Canada. They were in the US. Couple of years ago they moved to Vancouver. Okay. So do they drift away from Indian culture? I don't think so, because one, like I said, the way my daughter is bringing up the kids, they bring the kids to India all the time. They were just here this summer. We visit them often. And so there's, of course, now the joy of FaceTime on, and WhatsApp video and all that. So they talk to my parents are still alive, 94 and 92. So they talk to Big Tata and Big Party regularly. So, it's all up to us. There will be some, obviously they will have to assimilate or integrate a little bit with the local system there also. So it's a challenge for them to have that identity, strong identity as Indian kids, and also blend with that. So we have put them in that position.
Yeah.
So we have to help them to stay grounded and know all about their heritage as much as we can. We don't want to push it on them, but as much as we can.
I understand. So could you share some of your favorite moments or memories with your grandchildren?
Oh, there are so many. So whenever we visit, for example, museums, or one of the favorite things that we like to do is take them to the zoo, because both my husband and I are great zoo people, nature people. So we love to go to the zoo and show them animals, and because I'm not sure if there is a question coming up, if I was not a doctor, what would I be? I would have been a veterinarian. Okay, so I love animals, or even a dog walker. I love dogs, and so I love animals. So we take them to the zoo all the time, whether we are in the U.S. or Canada or here. We take them to all different zoos, and if you love animals, I think that's also part of your becoming an empathetic human being. You have to love animals, love nature, love people. So we take them to zoos, museums, read books. We read a lot to them. So those are all my great joyful moments with them. They take my junk jewelry and wear it. We do all crazy things.
That sounds really fun. So, in what ways have your grandchildren inspired or surprised you?
Recently, my younger granddaughter, she was talking up with my husband, who is, by the way, a cat lover. I'm a dog lover. So, we love both animals, but he's a cat and I'm a dog lover. So they were talking about kittens, and my granddaughter was asking him, so will the kittens be boy kittens or girl kittens, or they? Right? So, and you know what she was referring to? She was talking about transgenders. So I said, do you know about they? How did you know about that? She said, yeah, sometimes there are boys who want to be girls, and there are girls who want to be boys. And so not only was I was surprised, I was so, I'm just saying, impressed with young people. They are so non-judgmental, and so, I'm saying, trusting, and there's no confusion in her head. You see that answer?
Yeah.
And I am talking to medical students about transgender, and I have so much trouble. So there is clarity, no confusion, non-judgmental, accepting. So I love that about young people, and I was so impressed with whoever taught her, whether it was school or her mom or sister, I don't know, but somebody has done a good job.
Yeah. So how do you think being a grandparent has influenced your perspective on life?
I think it just makes you very grateful, and I think gratitude is everything in life. I as a physician every day see a lot of suffering, a lot of sadness, and so it makes you grateful for what has been given to you, because it's a gift.
Yeah.
So I'm just more grateful.
Makes you grateful. So what advice would you give to other grandparents who want to build a strong relationship with their grandchild?
Just like with anybody else, whether it is your best friend or your spouse or your children or thing. Again, I'll give you a nice quote, which is, you like people for their qualities, you love them in spite of some of their qualities. So try not to change people too much. Okay. Obviously, young people, you want to guide them in the right direction, and show them the right path. But we don't want them to become what we have in mind. They have their own identity and own path. Let them flourish in that. See, nowadays there are so many opportunities for kids. When I was growing up, either you had to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. Otherwise, you are a nobody. But now, you can be so much more.
So, what do you consider to be your greatest achievements, and what can today's youth learn from your achievements?
Besides, of course, having these wonderful children and grandchildren, which is it's a gift, not an achievement. But professionally speaking, I'm very glad to be in the position where I am, where I'm able to now work on giving back something to the community. And I am a strong believer in the ethical practice of medicine. And I want to credit all my mentors and teachers and my colleagues who have helped me to stay ethical all these years without compromising. And that's what I would tell my younger colleagues, is to just remain uncompromisingly ethical and really cherish this. People coming to us for help is in their most vulnerable time.
Yeah.
Is actually again not given to everyone.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody whom you don't know at all coming and pouring their problems to you, allowing you to examine them, allowing you to prod and poke and do surgery and all sorts of things. It's an unbelievable thing given. So we should appreciate that and protect it.
That's one thing I really admire about doctors, even though it's a lot of study.
Yeah.
They solve so many problems.
Must try to, yeah.
Yeah. What is one value that has helped you through difficult times, and how is it relevant to today's generation?
I think, if I may say so, my greatest strength is that I have a very even temper. I don't get ruffled, and so it's a mixture of tolerance and, like I said, I temper and even temperament. So that is a extremely useful thing to have, even when for young people or for anyone, because the moment you lose your cool, your brain is not working anymore, and so you can't find solutions or handle a situation or cope with stress. So a lot of tolerance is needed in the present world, especially.
So you need tolerance and even temper.
Even temper.
Do you have a favorite quote or a motto to life?
Just stay positive, be grateful.
And do you have any regrets in the way today's generation is living?
I'm just hoping that I don't think we can ever go back to how the joint family of grandparents, uncles, aunts and cousins all living together. That is not going to happen anymore because of the way our work is, our life is, and I understand that. But we can always stay in touch, and that maybe is something that I am not seeing that much. So that is very important to stay in touch, say thank you for things and remember important events. And the other thing that I am not a very big fan of is elders living alone in senior homes and all that. So I think it's very important for families to take care of their elders.
Yeah. I understand. So last but not the least, what is one thing you want people to remember about you?
That I was a kind and helpful human being.
Nothing else, just that. Okay, that's all I have for you today. It was
Thank
a
you so
pleasure
much.
interviewing you.
Thank you.